What does it mean when one of the strongest proponents of the broad-based government comes out and makes an angry speech? They come out very suddenly, making a very angry speech against the thing they've been supporting for a long time. Even before the agreement was signed, she was in full support. What does it mean? What does it mean when the Homa Bay governor, Gladys Wanga, says the following? We did not sign up for assassination of our members. And she says it so angrily and with so much emotion. And in the same speech, she mentions the name of recently slain ODM Member of Parliament, Charles Were. Ish! What did she mean? What is she telling us? You know, this is a very crazy latest development. I would not blame any of you if you did not for a minute believe me. And therefore I have to play you the audio clip. You hear it for yourself. Just listen in. I'll be back shortly.
Number 2, who killed Were? And why? And for what? That we want to know. And not in a far future, in the near future. And I can tell you, we have said we are working together, but we did not sign up to assassination of our members. We did not sign up to assassination of our members. That we did not sign up to. So if somebody else killed Were, tell us who. Tell us. As the national chairman of the ODM party, I also want to make it very clear that this Homa Bay County and this entire region is an ODM zone. It is an ODM zone. And the next time I see what I saw at the funeral of Koyo, where my party leader is seated, and some people have come there shouting, Uda, we will not agree, we will not accept, it will not happen. It will not happen. It will not happen. Not under my watch as national chairman of the ODM party. This is an ODM zone. Na tutaki madarau. And you can see we are quiet. Unaweza ona simba nyeshewa, ukadhani ni paka. Hakuna paka hapa. Hakuna. Onge paka ka. One simbni. Wanangoa. And I want to say, this is an ODM zone. We will protect ODM with our lives. We will protect our party leader with our lives. We will protect it with whatever it takes. Yeah. And if you want to dare us, I will tell you today, bring it on. Bring it on. Yeah, don't dare us. Kikutu kodwa, be kikuchawa. Okwa dwara chaya, be okwa dwara yuma.
Ay, 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 ay. Hey. Now, before we continue, please allow me a moment, because I'm still in world celebration over our 20 years of existence as the Kumekucha blog. Wow. And in a few hours, oh yes, a few hours, it will be the day Kumekucha first came to life on the 5th of May, 2005, at a place called Gongo Lamboto, in the outskirts of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Anyway, this is the climax of our celebration, and on the 6th of May, I will make the announcement. Most of you know what the announcement is all about. It is the 20 lucky members of this channel who will get a golden free pass to everything and anything, past, present and future, that is Kumekucha. Now, of course, what that means is that we're in the final hours of that window of opportunity to give the Kumekucha brand and also have a chance of being amongst these 20 lucky members of this channel. I'm sure you've been seeing details on your screens, in case you want to rush and make sure you're not left out. That was just a quick reminder. back to this hot topic of the day. Now there is something else super fascinating here. You heard what Gladys Wanga said, Homa Bay governor. Clear as day! No missing words. If I can summarize, UDA na ODM iko shida. But you've just heard what she has said. But there is something else bizarre. You see, Charles Were was gunned down in Nairobi on Wednesday, 30th of April. That is the same day that President William Samoei Ruto had a meeting. Had a meeting with politicians, leading politicians and leaders from Migori County. What? What that means is that there was a meeting in State House with leaders from Luo Nyanza, and that meeting lasted most of the afternoon. And then that same evening, around the city mortuary roundabout, kuisha maneno. What does that mean? Especially when you throw in the latest remarks of Gladys Wanga, the governor of Homa Bay. Now, most of you are aware that this brand has not been around for 20 solid years for speculating or for giving you information that is story ajaba. Most of you are aware of that. There are many members of this channel who started with us right at the beginning or shortly after the beginning. By the way, that does not mean we have not made our mistakes along the way. We have. We are human. But the reputation of this brand is based on giving information that is spot on. And therefore, I will not start speculations today. But I want you to consider that chain of events and decide for yourself whether it is important or not important. Personally, I find it fishy. Very, very fishy. Now, there's something else about this whole Charles Were Manenos that I believe is worth pointing out. There was once a leader in the country called Liberia. His name was Master Sergeant Samuel Doe. He was the president. Despite being a very junior officer in the military, he organized a coup and he became president. Word on the ground is that alitumia uchawi na madawa ya kienyeji. Witchcraft. That is word on the ground. Explaining how a very junior officer in the military can end up being president of a country in a military coup. It is not something that is very common. Anyway, my point is this. This man was brutal. He did so many bad things. Aliua watu wengi sana. Okay? And many people were looking for the end of his regime. Which indeed came. But it did not come in the way people were expecting it to come. Somebody made a video that I'm made to understand is still doing the rounds even today in Liberia. And personally, all these years I have never watched that video. But I saw screen grabs, still photographs from that video, and I did not eat meat for a whole week. Hey, this president had been captured by members of a rebel group, and what they had done to him, they had put on video. wanakata masikio, analia, ana scream, yote kwa video. Okay? But my point is, when the end came for Master Sergeant Samuel Doe, President Samuel Doe, the people of the world did not praise those people who had brought his regime to an end. In fact, the world became very determined to deal with that rebel group, which they did finally. Why? Because no matter how guilty a person is, because no matter how guilty a person is, no matter what a person is, the rest of you have to make a distinction of being human. Huwezi kumuua ovyo ovyo. You can't. You can't just end his life just like that because the man was evil. You can't start celebrating because the man was evil. Things don't work like that. But what my point here is that even analysts have been blinded about the past of the late Member of Parliament for Kasipul, so much so that it clouds their judgment and it clouds their analysis. It brings them to that place where they miss everything else. They don't want to look at other angles of this story, some of which are very important. They don't want to look at other angles of this story, some of which are clearly national, as has been confirmed by Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga. Yeah, not me. Although in my very first video, I said a few things. Yeah, I'm sure most of you remember. And a few of you rubbished me. Anyway, there are so many critical points of analysis in this story that touch on the nation called Kenya. Okay? And many of us are missing it because we are focused on what kind of person was this, what did they do, etc., etc. My gut feeling is that we should now prepare ourselves for anything over these manenos, because most of us started following Raila Odinga politics yesterday. Most of us started following Raila Odinga politics fairly recently. But one of the strengths of Raila Odinga is that he is able to change gears so fast that his opponents are left in the dust. Okay? They were waiting for him here. He has already changed gears, he's on the other side, and these opponents of his on the ground have no idea even what has happened. They don't even know a gear was changed. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still of the opinion that Raila Odinga will never recover his previous position in this country. Politically, I still hold that view. I could be wrong, but that is my view. However, let us look at what impact it will have on the current shaky UDA regime. Okay? Because I smell a rat. So far things have been okay with this broad-based government. Bread-based, some of us insist. So far things have been sour. And then recently, we started hearing murmurings from some UDA people. Huwezi kutuletea ng'ombe, alafu useme, utakuja tena kuchukua hiyo ng'ombe siku ingine. Utarudia hiyo ng'ombe. Tuwezi kubali. Remember what former governor Jackson Mandago said, and we even mentioned it on this channel. And then, bang! The Charles Were assassination. And then now, Gladys Wanga comes out with a very strange speech. You know, Gladys Wanga was one of the first ODM members to warm up with the union, with the UDA people. You will remember, even before anything was announced, even before Kenyans knew what was happening, President Ruto made an official tour of the United States of America. Guess who was in that entourage? Gladys Wanga was one of the people. Yeah? And so was Opio and others. At that time, we should probably have read where things were going. These were going to be the people on the front row of the broad-based government, union between Raila and Ruto, or cooperation, whatever you want to call it. And so, considering all that, these latest utterances of Governor Wanga cannot be taken lightly. They can't be brushed aside. Hapa iko kitu, for sure. And that is one of the reasons why I'm saying we should be prepared for anything. Okay? Now there's one more thing that many analysts don't seem to understand about Luo Nyanza politics. Now, the Luo as a community have a very, very big aversion towards bloodshed. If you want to lose political support in this region, get involved in activities like that, and people become aware. Oh, it will not work. Indeed, there is a story, a very big story, behind how Bwana Charles Were managed to get re-elected. There is a very big story there. However, there is a county in Luo Nyanza called Migori. Now Migori is different. The Luo community look at their brothers and sisters from Migori differently. It is said that people from Migori are very violent. Okay? And they are less averse to bloodletting. Okay? Just allow me to leave it there for now. And please remember, we're in the very last few hours of our biggest celebration ever, 20 great years of the Kumekucha brand. And I also need to remind you that this year we will not have the usual media gifting of Kumekucha Chris. Why? Because there is nothing bigger at this point in time than our 20-year celebration. Okay? And therefore 20 years celebration has overtaken that expected coming event. It will not happen this year. Haitafanyika. And so all the focus is on our 20-year celebration. Now you can see details on your screens right now. You can use either M-Pesa or PayPal and make sure included. Maybe even for posterity. Who knows? Maybe one day somebody will look back and appreciate the small contribution the Kumekucha brand has made for a better Kenya. Who knows? We just live our lives and we do our best, and we leave the rest to history. And so if that happens, naturally, people will want to know, these were the supporters of Kumekucha. These were the people who made it all possible. Very good. Excellent. And maybe one of those people could be your great-great-grandchild. Anyway, watch a story mob. Please have a great Sunday. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.